Welcome to the March 12th, 2024 City Council meeting. Please stand for the invocation by Councilmember Wilder, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the Lynchburg City Council. We thank you for the work we're doing for our community. Bless our council members, bless our city staff, bless our citizens. Continue to give us the wisdom and guidance to lead this organization to be the best that you desire for it to be. Give us strength, give us wisdom. We speak peace in our community. We speak love. We speak unity more than ever in our nation, in our country, that we'll be more united as one. In your precious name we pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight's City Council agenda is divided into 4 sections: consent agenda, public hearing, public comment, and general business. Council members, I would like to note that we will be removing item number 8, consideration of adopting the resolution R24. Mr. Friedman, would you like to speak to that?
Yes. As I understand it, there's a couple changes that we just noticed. Our awesome procurement director brought that to my attention. She's a very keen eye for procurement matters, and I'm very grateful that she did. In lieu of trying to correct those tonight, I would ask that it be moved or just taken off, and we'll bring it back either on the 26th or the first meeting in April.
Okay, so just, council members, please just note that item number 8 on general business will be removed from our agenda this evening. Vice Mayor, did you want to do anything?
We had a resident who requested to speak, but there were some technical issues, so if we could, by consensus, allow Ms. Kim to speak. She did submit it prior to the deadline.
Okay, is everybody okay with Kimberly Dyke-Harsley being added to
Yes.
public comment? Is that okay? Okay, Kimberly, we will add you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, moving on to consent agenda. The first section is the consent agenda. This section includes routine items, and all items may be approved by one vote. May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? No? Okay. We'll go ahead and do a voice vote, please.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Dolan?
Yes.
Councilmember Hegelson?
Yes.
Councilmember Mischins?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Councilmember Wilder?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Feraldi?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
The motion passes 7-0.
Okay. Public hearing. The next section is public hearings. This section includes all public hearings as required by law or as council may direct. Staff will make a presentation. Comments will be solicited from the public. An individual speaker shall have 3 minutes to speak. If the speaker represents a group, the speaker shall have 5 minutes. A speaker representing a group shall identify that group at the beginning of his or her remarks, and a group may have only one spokesperson. Each speaker shall clearly state his or her name and locality of residence. Upon the conclusion of public comments, the public hearing will be closed and the matter referred to council for deliberation. Consideration of adopting a resolution amending the future land use map, FLUME, from resource conservation to community commercial, and adopting an ordinance changing a certain area located at 6201 Fort Avenue from I-2 Land Industrial District to B3 Community Business District. Sorry. Staff will provide a brief summary of the request. Ms. Rachel Frischheisen.
More technical
Winter.
difficulties.
All right.
Oh, that's not working either. Okay, well, do you want me to just speak to it? Yeah, okay, I'll keep working. Sure. Thank you, Madam Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of council. This petition is to allow the use of the existing building at 6201 Fort Avenue to be used as a restaurant. Thank you. The petition proposes to rezone the property from I-2 Light Industrial District to B3 Community Business District. Our future land use map currently recommends a resource conservation use for the property. It was likely designated that way because a floodplain sits just beyond the limits of this property, and typically where we have a floodplain, we like to have a buffer. However, the property has been used commercially since at least 1978, and the petition proposes to amend the future land use map to community commercial, which would align with the proposed zoning change Approval of the petition would allow the property to return to restaurant and other commercial uses such as retail. Planning Commission held a public hearing regarding this petition on February 14th and recommended approval. Thank you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions after the public hearing.
Okay, thank you so much. Would the petitioner like to make a presentation?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of council. My name is Thomas Brooks, Sr. I'm with Acres of Virginia Incorporated. We're an engineering surveying firm located here in the city of Lynchburg. I'm here tonight representing Wonton Holdings LLC in regard to their rezoning request to take this property from the I-2 light industrial use to general business B3 zone. It's about 0.892 acres. There is 0.892 acres within the boundaries of this. There's a portion of the property that overlaps on the railroad. I happen to be the one in 1971 that found that and surveyed it, so I've been doing this for quite a while. The property was originally, when it was built, the Golden Corral restaurant. They were there from 72 on up till about 92 when they left and went to Ward's Road. Built a restaurant out there. Since then, the property, since they left, the property has been zoned, has been used as a restaurant, and I think it's been set idle for a couple of years, and now it needs to be put back in use, and that's what my client wants to do. He wants to get it back in use, clean it up, get everything going on it so he can have a restaurant there once again. For the users that don't know, it's right across from the Fender Drive right there, where the good restaurant used to be when we could get a good steak and a good meal there for a decent price, but now I'm sure it's going to be quite expensive. The plan that you have here before you tonight, I don't see it on the screen, but anyway, you know what it looks like. It shows all the landscaping. It shows the parking that's there. It shows all the requirements that the city has asked us to meet. The sign was up and then down, back up. City construction workers took it down. We had to go back there and put it back up. The Ward's Road site has worked out well for Golden Corral, but my client now would like to rezone this from the I-2 to the B3 business. And also, I believe that we're looking at the future land map or the FEMA map that's going to be changed as well in this process. If you have any questions at this time, I'll be glad to answer them, and my client is with us tonight in case you need to ask him any questions.
Okay, well, normally what we'll do is call you back up if we have questions.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this project?
Do I really need to state my name as a formality? Beth White, Ward 3, Lynchburg. Normally, I don't speak at these, for these public hearings, but for something like this, I know probably the three of you have lived in Lynchburg almost as long as I have, if not longer. And you remember when it was Golden Corral. I ate there once when I was in high school, and that's the only time we've eaten there since then. So any chance that we have of making that a successful restaurant, I really think we should give it the opportunity to be successful. We haven't had a successful restaurant there since Golden Corral left. So I wholeheartedly endorse it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Are there any voicemails from citizens? Okay. There's no rebuttal needed, so the public hearing is now closed and the matter rests with council. Vice Mayor Farrell, Councilman Helgeson?
I'll make a motion that we amend the future land use map.
Second.
Will we amend it?
Yeah. I mean, that's the first resolution.
Oh,
There's
okay,
two
okay.
resolutions, so we have to
Right,
first
okay.
amend, as Mr. Brooks stated, we amend the future land use map to meet You know, it's funny that we're amending the future land use map, as Beth said, as Mr. Brooks said, as all of us have eaten there forever and knew when it was Golden Corral when it first opened up, but now we got to amend it to go back to what it was. So kind of strange, but hopefully this will pass unanimously, because amending it back to what it was originally built for sounds to me pretty obvious.
Councilman Dolan?
Nothing to add to that.
Okay, great. Any further discussion or comments? No? Okay, we'll go ahead and vote then.
Councilmember Dolan?
Yes.
Councilmember Hellison?
Yes.
Councilmember Missions?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Councilmember Wilder?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Feraldi?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
The motion passes 7-0.
Okay, great. If he wants to do it, it's fine. What?
Jeff wants to.
Oh, do you want to make the next
Sure.
motion? Go
Now,
ahead.
the second one, I'll make a motion that we amend the zoning from I2 to back to B3, Business Commercial 3, so they can have a restaurant there, so we can all go eat and have a good time. So,
Great. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
nothing to add.
Nothing to add? Anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Okay, any additional discussion? No? Okay, let's vote.
Councilmember Dolan?
Yes.
Councilmember Hellison?
Yes.
Councilmember Missions?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Councilmember Wilder?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Feraldi?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Moving on to public comment. The next section is public comment. During public comment, individual speakers have 3 minutes to speak, and those representing a group have 5 minutes to speak. Typically, City Council takes comments made during public comment section of the agenda under advisement and may refer concerns to the city manager for follow-up. Citizens often express conflicting and diverse opinions or positions regarding specific issues under consideration. To encourage citizen participation and to avoid intimidations to persons who may express sometimes unpopular opinions, applause, cheers, or jeers from the audience are not permitted. When appearing before City Council, citizens may not engage in behavior that intimidates or insults others, engage in disruptive behavior, use profanity or vulgar language, promote private business ventures, or campaign for office. We'll now hear from a citizen regarding public comment policy. Joe Meadows, please restate your name and locality of residence.
Hi, my name is Joe Meadows, and I live in Lynchburg, Virginia. Good evening, and thank you for the chance to speak tonight. The ability for citizens to speak freely and address their elected officials is a fundamental principle of our democracy. The idea that all citizens of Lynchburg should have equal access to this forum and this council is of extreme importance to the city and of relevance to this council, and I certainly hope you would all agree with that. I'm here to voice concern that I and other citizens have over an obvious bias when it comes to who you allow to speak here and what you allow them to speak about. Just under a year ago, you allowed a religious fanatic to stand here and go on an unhinged rant targeting the LGBTQ community. His hate-filled, despicable comments, which no reasonable person would claim was relevant to city business, was allowed to continue uninterrupted for over 4 minutes. Fast forward to last month when you shut down 2 different speakers when they brought up the issue of the ongoing war in Palestine, claiming that it was not relevant to the city. No matter if you believe the subject matter brought up by the speakers last month was relevant to the city or not, your motive for cutting them off was clearly not relevancy to the city when you contrast it against the way you treated that bigot who spoke here last year. Your behavior shows a clear bias on your part, which is no less than shameful. You owe those speakers an apology, and you owe the public the courage to listen to ideas that you may disagree with, or at the very least to enforce your policies in an unbiased way. And to the matter that you refused to listen to originally, towns and cities around Virginia, the United States, and around the world have passed resolutions calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. Even if the gesture is purely symbolic, your citizens have every right to ask you to do the same. The fact is, we are witnessing the most barbaric war crimes of our lifetime with the ongoing genocide of Palestinians. Many citizens of your city join millions around the country that are horrified and outraged by not just the indiscriminate bombing of civilians taking place now, but of the last 75 years of Zionist brutality against the Palestinian people. I ask that someone here have the courage to do the right thing, even if you believe it's symbolic, and bring up a resolution calling for a ceasefire. Thank you for the chance to share my concerns with you.
We will now hear from a citizen regarding mismanaged transparency, citizens that come forward with complaints on lack of affirmative action. Margaret Johnson. Okay. We'll now hear from a citizen regarding Lynchburg taxpayers' money and where it goes. Keely Meadows.
Hi,
Please restate your name and locality of residence, please.
Keely Meadows, Lynchburg. On Saturday, March 9th of this year, a group of local organizers and activists stood on the Lynchburg Community Market with signs that stated "Free Palestine, Ceasefire Now, and Stop Bombing Gaza." This was in reaction to how the Lynchburg City Council, shut down the opportunity for 2 local citizens to speak about a possible resolution. This council stated that these speakers were, quote, not speaking about local issues. In opposition to this claim, an official on this council posted on a government account on Facebook regarding the same issues that were shot down because they, quote, weren't local issues. For reference, an official on this council posted about flyers that were, quote, littered on our streets with a hashtag listed under the statement that says, hashtag I stand with Israel. As well, the 2 citizens who were robbed of the opportunity to speak were speaking about the same conflict that this official posted about. The way that this council treated those citizens was messy, disgusting, and Islamophobic. It is more disgusting when you realize that almost 1/5 of Lynchburg is living in poverty. It's even more disgusting when you realize that the median household income in Lynchburg is $56,000, and the average cost of living for a couple in Lynchburg is $65,000. I don't know what flyers were found, but you were elected to serve this community, and this community is not worried about flyers, they're worried about poverty. It makes sense that community members came forward to correct these officials and ignorant statements that were made in an official capacity. What doesn't make sense is that these officials are allowed to talk at an official capacity to the city and citizens about an issue, but community members are not allowed to oppose that statement or talk about the issue. You are elected to serve and represent the community, not your own personal ideas and beliefs. If you believe you're representing your community, but there's opposition from the community, you are not representing your community. I will tell you now that your statements, along with the censorship of Lynchburg citizens, is vile and disgusting. I expect you to shut me down, but if you're allowed to talk about it, I will go ahead and state that despite this council's opposition, we will continue to share the voices of the oppressed, and it will only get louder. A local group was formed called Lynchburg for Palestine. They're growing more and more every single day. You will not stand unopposed. We will keep calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza and oppose the killing of 30,000 innocent Palestinians, because from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
We will now hear from a citizen regarding City Council School Board appointments. Penny Page.
Hi, Penny Page. Glad to be living in here with you, Lynchburg Ward 2. I'm here before City Council today to ask City Council to remove appointed members of the Lynchburg City School Board on the grounds that members of our school board have displayed an inability to regulate their emotions that makes them incapable to perform the normal duties of a school board. When the school board denied a $10,000 grant to provide resources to students of the LGBTQ+ community, they did so without following the normal grant approval process. Abandoning standard budget processes means abandoning the system in place to manage money responsibly, and abandoning that responsibility in the case of only LGBTQ+ people is discrimination, which has been decided by the Lynchburg City Schools through their Equity Task Force and its official process created expressly for that reason. This personal prejudice, these personal feelings of the school board members compelled them to abandon their obligation to manage money responsibly. They've attempted to justify this abandonment of their financial processes by applying the same unusual financial strategy to a grant that would just provide our schools new sports equipment. taking steps that would prevent any child from just playing sports to make a point about your personal feelings about LGBTQ plus people is beyond financially irresponsible, but unethical. It is also a legal liability. There is a now inevitable lawsuit which will harm every child in Lynchburg if money that should be spent on their education is instead spent on defending our school board members in court. Our school board members have also made an unsafe environment for our children. School board member Christian DePaul, displaying an amazing display of a lack of ability to regulate his emotions, insulted and demeaned children who came to school board meetings to talk about these issues, referring to them as whining and crying. These kids now have been called slurs by their peers in the schools. They've been harassed verbally and physically, and they've had their peers repeat to them these same words, whining and crying, first spoken by Christian DePaul, making the connection clear that this unsafe environment is the inspiration and responsibility of that school board member who taught our kids that it is okay to treat LGBTQ plus people however disrespectfully they choose. The failure to regulate their emotions displayed by members of the city school board in these matters, as I've demonstrated, has prevented them from carrying out the most basic of financial processes and has made our schools less safe. The only reasonable course of action for this city council is to remove appointed members of the Lynchburg City School Board. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now call Kimberly Dyke-Harsley up, please.
Good evening. Kimberly Dyke-Harsley, Lynchburg. I'm waiting on the timer.
It's going, it's just not showing. I'm sorry about that.
Oh. So, I just wanted to come here today and say thank you to the women in leadership. Everyone has their role. However, this month is designated as Women's History Month. Thank you to Commonwealth's Attorney Bethany Harrison, District 13 Chief Probation Officer Kelly Poe, Clerk of General District Court Amy Leftwich, Chief Financial Officer Donna Witt, Clerk of Council Alicia Finney, Lynchburg City School Superintendent Dr. Crystal Edwards, school board members Dr. Cheryl Carter, Mrs. Gloria Preston, Mrs. Letitia Lowry, school board clerk Mrs. Tina Day, Lynchburg City Schools attorney Ms. Hope Towns, again I'm speaking women in leadership, Captain Candace Brown, Lynchburg Fire Department, Battalion Chief of Health and Safety for Lynchburg Fire Department, Jennifer Collins. Mayors. Ms. Joan Foster, I've seen you in the trenches year after year, and I'm doing the line of succession. Dr. Trinae Tweedy, I was very honored to see a woman who looked like me in the seat of authority for this city, in the trenches, present as leadership. Mary Jane Dolan, thank you. Several committees I've served with you in the trenches. And current Mayor Stephanie Reed, I see you in the trenches, on the committees I'm on, showing up, present, as leadership should. And for that, that's all I have. Women's History Month, if there's any woman in leadership that I have forgotten, list yourself upon my comments. Have a great evening.
Thank you. All right, so we'll now move on to general business. The next section is general business. This section includes general items of new business. Now for our fiscal year 2025 budget presentation, Mr. Winter Benda.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of City Council, good evening. Just over 2.5 years ago, I began my tenure as city manager of the best city in the Commonwealth of Virginia, Lynchburg, Virginia. The past few years have been some of the most fulfilling of my career, as together we have rolled up our sleeves to do the good, hard work of providing excellent municipal services for our residents. As I prepared remarks for tonight, last year's budget message, moving Lynchburg forward, still rings true for me. I want to take this opportunity to reflect on our shared progress. City Council, you have made significant investments over the past several years, centered around your 5 key priorities while providing meaningful tax relief for Lynchburg residents, as I say, from cars, motor vehicle license fees, to curbs, which is our trash cans. Your first initiative, public safety. Your most significant investment over the past 2+ years is in the area of public safety, as we work together and with our community partners to make Lynchburg safer. We have implemented meaningful pay progression for our frontline public safety officers, established the take-home car program, and invested in recruitment and retention of critical public safety positions. We are also pursuing a public-private partnership with Liberty University to build a new fire station, possibly reducing insurance costs for our citizens. And next year, we will open a new state-of-the-art headquarters for the Lynchburg Police Department. Infrastructure. We have moved the needle in improving the city's built environment, funding capital projects that address the city's most pressing transportation needs. We've completed a new bridge on Lakeside Drive and are beginning the work to remove the College Lake Dam. We will complete one of the city's largest capital projects to date in the new police headquarters. A large portion of infrastructure support is maintaining the city's buildings, roads, and transportation needs or assets. Last year, our Public Works team refreshed pavement markings on 40 miles of roads, planted 297 trees, repaired 560 different sidewalk locations, and collected 2,614, not bags, 2,614 tons of leaves. And if you're really interested, Greg has figured out per leaf, he likes math. Lifelong learning. The development and continued support of a strong public school system is critical to any city's long-term success. Outstanding public schools and lifelong learning opportunities attract people to our community and improve the long-term well-being of our residents. Together, we have strengthened relationships with our city's colleges and universities, supported the community engagement efforts, and continue to invest in the largest expenditure of our operating budget, just behind public safety, toward Lynchburg City Schools. Economic development. A healthy local economy employs residents and drives long-term growth and resilience. City Council's support of economic development efforts have yielded significant announcements in the past year. Delta Star will invest more than $30 million, adding 149 jobs. And Framatome announced a $50 million investment, adding more than 500 jobs. You've provided meaningful tax relief to the business community. Tourism, sports, and events are driving spending in Lynchburg businesses. Our continued focus on on-site development and transportation infrastructure will continue to reap these rewards. Quality of life. Quality of life means different things to different individuals, but almost all agree it includes opportunities to live in a safe, affordable, and thriving community. The past 2 years, we have made significant upgrades to City Stadium, go Hillcats, and improvements in College Park, Ivy Creek Park, Miller Park, and most recently, the Awareness Garden. We unveiled a new piece of public art, a statue of Mayor M.W. Thornhill, or TD, on 5th Street. We partnered to support Bright Nights on the Bluff Walk and continue to implement the vision of the downtown master planning, and we will complete the Riverfront Park in 2026. there's more. The city has been recognized in Southern Living's Cities on the Rise, Travel and Leisure Magazine's Best College Towns, and as Blue Ridge Outdoors' Top Adventure Town. From health and wellness to parks and trails, one of the most important but perhaps least tangible priorities of a prosperous city is an excellent quality of life. Those are the same priorities for your budget backdrop. Tonight, I will walk you through the fiscal year 2025 operating budget. Under local charter, I am tasked as budget commissioner and as such to prepare and submit a balanced budget to City Council. In preparation to stand before you today, I, along with my incredibly capable staff, have worked with department heads, City Council appointees, constitutional officers, and our courts to develop a balanced budget where ongoing revenues meet ongoing expenses. Several key factors impact our efforts to maintain city services and continued investment in the workforce in this proposed budget. They are, 1, inflationary and increased contractual costs, 2, rising interest rates, and 3, limited capacity to grow debt service. So our financial plan. The fiscal year 2025 budget moves the city forward, strengthening investments in public safety, workforce recruitment and retention, maintenance and infrastructure, and excellent municipal services. I provide here a table of funds: general, enterprise, special revenue, internal service, capital project, and component units. And now let's walk through the highlights. This proposed budget continues Lynchburg's ability to provide expected, everyday, and may I say, awesome municipal services. We will continue our investment in the workforce recruitment and retention through a 3% cost of living adjustment for non-sworn personnel, continued pay progression for sworn police and firefighter positions, increased minimums for custodial staff to $15.50 per hour, the addition of 9 FTE employees, 4 of which will help maintain and provide custodial support for the new police headquarters, which comes in at a whopping 96,000 square feet, and 5 fully funded state or federal, through 5 other FTEs through state and or federal resources. This budget proposes a second year of tax relief for residents and businesses, including a waiver of trash collection fees, saving residents and businesses $120 a year, and a waiver of motor vehicle license fee. I think I got ahead of myself. There's that one. There we go. Now this one. The budget proposes level funding for Lynchburg City Schools and pilots a new satellite library location at 12th and Church Streets, the location of the former visitor center, offering innovative programming and flexible hours to help us reach new audiences. And finally, in the area of infrastructure, we will begin design for the renovation of the Circuit and General District Courts, fund the transfer station for refuse, establish additional reserves for citywide capital maintenance projects, and as mentioned before, we'll complete the new police headquarters in 2025. A rate increase in the water, sewer, and stormwater funds is proposed for capital investment in major infrastructure projects, including the combined sewer overflow tunnel and water line replacement. This week and next, we will continue our public engagement around the budget with a series of Budget and Brews events throughout the city. A joint budget work session with Lynchburg City Schools and City Council is scheduled for March 26th at the Lynchburg Regional Business Alliance, where LCS will present their budget request. 2 public hearings to receive citizen input on the fiscal year 2025 water resources rate and the fiscal year 2025 proposed budget are scheduled for April 16th, beginning at 6 p.m. in council chambers. In closing, I am proud to stand before you tonight leading a strong and capable staff with opportunities before us to work together to build a better Lynchburg. As we navigate this year's budget landscape, I know we all hold in our minds our collective vision for a bright future for this amazing Hill City. This proposed budget has been posted to the city's website this evening, along with the full budget calendar. I look forward to our discussions of the proposed budget, and thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Council.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments?
Do that over the next several months.
Yes, okay. Well, I think we have our homework here, and we'll have plenty of meetings to come. So, yes, Councilman Mischins.
Thank you, Commissioner Pender.
Yes, okay. Vice Mayor?
Truly, thank you all. I know it's a lot of work to prepare this, and it's going to be interesting to see where it all goes, but I know it's a lot of work to get to this point, so truly thank you to you and all your staff.
Well, and I will say, I mean, the highlights for everybody that's at home watching, the success that has been highlighted over the last year from the investments that were made are truly something to be proud of. Really, it shows when you invest wisely what happens, and so I'm thrilled to see what you've highlighted tonight. We should be very happy as a city to see that the money was invested in really great ways and to see what's come from it. So thank you. Thank you for everybody that worked hard last year and that worked hard again to get this together, and let's roll our sleeves up and get to work. So, all right, with that said, the meeting is adjourned. Oh, Dr. Weiler, I'm sorry.
I just want to thank you again to the staff and the team for putting together the budget package. I just want to encourage our citizens to come out on those budget brewery sessions. It is so important. Your voice is so crucial. So you need to make sure your voice is heard. So I encourage all of our citizens to look at that schedule and come out and participate in the discussion of our budget sessions. Thank you.
Okay, with that said, the meeting is adjourned. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be held on next Tuesday, March, wait, no, that's the wrong date. What's the next?
26th.
The 19th. Okay, mine says the 12th, sorry. The 19th. It's not at the training room, is it, again? Okay, also still in the training room. Have a great night.